Hey guys, we're back. This should be a lot better. Stable connection, better audio. If there's any issues, let me know as soon as possible. We have KT here from Top Level Dating. All right. Gonna be sharing with you guys some insights, some pretty good insights on this live. So let me know as soon as possible if there's any issues either with the connection or the audio. You guys want to make sure you hear every bit of this conversation. This is something that's not really talked about, but behind the scenes, when you guys hit me up, we chat. Looks like it could be a little unstable right now. Hopefully, it stabilizes. But yeah, we're redoing it live, but we should be pretty good now. And I want to jump in to today's conversation. For all the guys that are new here, my name is KT from Top Level Dating, and for the past 5 years, I've been helping you guys get results all across the board, online, in person. It's just insane the amount of differences you can have once you know the truth. Okay, guys, so in this live, we're going to be talking about some truths, some realistic, very realistic mindsets to have to navigate multicultural differences and still be able to succeed. Because here on the channel, I like to give you guys straightforward practical advice. You see something, you can go after it and you can succeed. That's what this is all about. All these strategies are all about. So we're going to wait for a few more guys to join in. Let me know if the audio connection is all right. We can hear you. It's a bit choppy, but not too crazy. All right, cool. In a little bit, let's see, a little bit outside the city, but thanks for the feedback. We're going to jump into this topic. Stick around because this is the reality, guys. We're living in the most liberal times right now. It's on easy mode if you have the right strategy to go with it. The right vehicle, if you will. For any of my guys in the marketing, the whole marketing space, vehicles are everything. So if you guys want to know how to succeed on something, you have to have the right vehicle. How you're going to get there from point A to point B. So I was a guy who struggled all across the board. Literally, online was trash. In person was trash. I followed some guys who try to uplift your spirit. Oh, if you struggle, you get rejected. You're still a man. You just keep going out. Still, think good about yourself and yada, yada, yada. Nah, you need, like, seeing is believing, guys. If you're not seeing yourself succeed, you're doing something wrong. So here on this channel, I like to give you guys straightforward advice, the shortcut, learning curve, because I learned from some guys who had my best interests and told me the game from years worth of experience. All right, we're talking decades worth of experience. All right, so we're almost 5 minutes. We're gonna jump into this. So number one, for all my brothers on the channel, I have a lot of you guys on the channel, and I'm gonna come out with an SMV video pretty soon, sexual market value. But right now, we're winning. We are winning right now. For all my brothers, we are winning. All right, trust me, we are winning. We are literally number one right now. And there's a few different reasons for that. All right, maybe 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we faced some stereotypes. We faced, you know, all these different things, whatever. Right now, it's in the floor. Now, it's very easy. It's a very thin line between struggling and crushing it, like wiping the floor. And that is photos. If you don't have good photos, like a chick can dramatically lose respect for you. Like dramatically. Like you need an understanding of what's a good photo. You need to learn from a guy who takes good photos, and you need to set the right impression online. Once you do that, it's like the floodgates open because algorithms like to put you in the front of the line. Literally, you just go anywhere online. Most of you guys, I would say 90% of you guys have really bad photos, and it's sad. Literally, it's sad. Okay, why do you guys have terrible photos? Maybe you don't value the photos. Maybe you don't think it works, or you may not know the right way to go about it. So let's let's jump back into the previous thread. All right, we're number one right now, and then you have white men coming in second place, and that's mainly because give you guys some history. You know, the British, all right, they pretty much took over a lot of culture, all right. And you turn on the television, these chicks see these fields. It's really what it comes down to, all right. The average, the average guy, yeah, right. You just don't have any negative stereotypes. All right, chicks almost assume you have something going for yourself. You're a middle-aged white man, okay? And more often than not, you likely do, okay? And it comes from a lot of different things. I won't go too much into it, but number one, I should have had a chart ready for you guys, but number one, it's going to be black men. Number two, going to be white men. And coming in third place, we're going to have a tie. We're going to have a tie with mixed race. You say black and white, and like, you call them light skin, whatever, and Spanish. Okay, guys, so that being said, if your brother it's like you have to know where you are in the world, in the city, wherever you are. You have to know where you're at. You have to understand the culture because culture is everything. Culture literally, hopefully I'm getting some low signals here. We still should be good. All right, so yeah, I was a guy struggled to get anything, and I tell you guys, I mean, I've been doing this for almost 5 years, but if any of you guys are in the WhatsApp group, the I've had a Discord group, or for any of you guys worked with me personally close. Okay, cool, awesome. like I was just sitting down with a friend, okay, and I literally like he called her stunning, like a 10. All right, and this chick is Chinese. All right, I won't say too much. I won't say too much for privacy reasons because this is a chick I'm actually seeing. But he was surprised. He was like, "Whoa, like, how is this possible?" Right? He's Asian himself, and how the culture works is he's like, "Whoa, there's no way her parents are gonna be okay with this or okay with you." Like a black man, like how, wow, like what's, how did you? He was like lost because truthfully, I mean, let's just speak on it, right? It's not like parents don't like it, right? Mixing races, culture, right? Because it breaks culture, guys, and that's the main thing. It breaks culture. When you break culture, it just ruins tradition, language. All right, and you mix genes up. It's just all right. There's a lot we can talk about as far as breaking culture, but that's the main reason why you're gonna have a lot of people not okay with it because it breaks culture. So, I mean, she never told her parents about me, and I'm fine with that, you know. But that's just something that you're gonna have to almost always assume is the parents are not gonna be okay with it, and that's if you get like a very attractive, like I'm saying 9 or 10, like a 9 or 10, like, and you gotta ask yourself, okay, why is she and how is she a 9 or a 10? I just a coaching call and I was letting them know it. It's the women who are very cultured that are the most attractive, right? Because they're cultured. When you meet some of these, you start meeting these like extremely high caliber. Like I was just in Miami, guys, and I came out with a long video on it. Just walking the beach. I was just telling you guys, you can meet some extremely high caliber in Miami. Miami has some of the most beautiful women. Okay, these guys saying it's hard to get dates, women are flaky. You're just in a general pool of women, and you have to get out. You have to start meeting some high caliber women, guys. I'm meeting rappers, with like ex girlfriends slash girlfriends. She's like, "Oh, it's complicated, yada yada." And I'm literally at Club Live, literally at Club Live, talking to a rapper's girlfriend. All right, so now for any of you guys who are not from Miami, Club Live, it can range from anywhere from 100 US to 400 US to get in. Okay, but that's definitely certainly one of the hot spots you want to make sure you wiggle your way into because this is the entry levels of reaching these high ranks. You can't be afraid to spend money to go on trips, to walk in some of these restaurants and venues. It's going to be nerve wracking, but that's good because that means you're growing. Don't stick to your comfort zone. You have to put yourself out there, try new things. And as far as I won't give away all my sauce. I won't give away everything, but yeah, easily I've dated like it's almost like it's like I'm hitting the ceiling. It's like you can only reach so far. Like you can only really get so far. Like once you start touching those nines and tens, all right, and multi-millionaires. Like I'm dating women that come from like very very wealthy families, where it's like they really only supposed to be dating their affluent circle, like within their affluent circle, right? Because say for example, you meet a woman who's worth 10 million, and you're an average guy, right? You're an average guy meeting a woman that's worth 5 or 10 million easily. Okay, what does that mean? You're an average guy. Okay, it brings so many questions up, and so many times I've heard, hey, it's I know, I come from this or come from that. I don't judge people or judge that, but it's just like, hey, there's a reason why women date within their race, within their affluent circle, okay, after a certain caliber. So you have to understand that you have to know, you have to clean up your the way you talk. I feel like that's number one. You got to clean up the way you talk. You have to you have to understand culture more. So like language, I was lucky enough to, I mean, I dated an Indian woman. She was probably one of my first serious girlfriends, but she taught me a lot, guys. Like you need the truth to hear the raw cut reality, and that is, people perceive particular races at a certain standpoint, right? And that's just the truth. And that's from years, decades worth of stereotypes, influence. Okay, guys, you turn on the TV, you go on Instagram. Like for all my brothers on the channel, you go on Instagram, you go on any of these like crazy shorts and TikToks, and you see us, like you see, breaking ins and all this crazy stuff from black people. I mean, it's clear. You see it. It's like, whoa, bro, what are you doing, man? You break into a store, you steal all this jewelry or steal all these iPhones, and it's just like, this doesn't help us, guys. It just doesn't help us, okay? And the algorithms just push this. It's like blast, blast, boom, 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 boom. So you can't blame the women who have these negative stereotypes on us, guys. You can't blame them. If this is all they see on the internet, or if this is all they've been programmed to think, right? Hey, it's just the truth. So that's the first thing. You have to understand you can't really hate them for it, right? You see it, hey, bang. Okay. So once you understand the negative stereotypes, where they come from, you have to do everything you can to not give them a reason to believe that. All right. You can't come in with a hoodie on a date, all right? Or you can't take photos with a hoodie on. I mean, I have a hoodie on now. Shout out Goodfellas. This is probably one of my best movies. All right. I'm just sitting in the house, just comfortable, right? But I have my, I wouldn't really wear this. Like, first impression at a private event, going out, you know, right? Because it just puts you at it's just there, okay? Shout out Sonny, Strength by Sonny. He was a guy I followed for a long time. You just don't get you can't give women a reason to think of you negatively, okay, guys? Set a good impression. What's good? Shiesty bum. What's going on? So you have to face the reality. You have to face the truth. All right, you have to. You just have to, guys. So that's number one. Number two is, like I talked about, cleaning up your language. It sets you apart. It really does set you apart. And you also have to understand the best system. All right, this is number three. It kind of ties into number two, but you need the best system, guys. You need to understand what are the winning photos. For the past 5 years, I've been helping you guys understand the 5 photo sequence. It just cleans the floor on any sort of online app, guys. It cleans the floor. And once you reach that high rank, like you just there's no competition. There's no profile out there that can compete with you. Okay, so you have to do good online. There's like the opportunity is there right now. The opportunities, it's on easy mode. What's your favorite way to win more milk than myself? Okay, milk. So I would say, like guys. So for most of my life, I've dated white women. I would say 80%, 70 to 80%, it's been white women, and I've reached pretty high ranks, and I'm talking like very cultured. Like I've dated some women who like didn't tell their parents about me. Okay, and that's when you're really starting to crush it, when they don't want to tell their parents. Okay, that's when you really know. So, but as of now, I would say like Spanish Spanish women are like starting to really become my favorite, especially when you guys start going to cities like Miami. You start seeing some very, very like extremely high caliber women, right? And it really comes from the culture. I like Spanish culture more than any culture, but like it's at a tie with Spanish and black women. Like I'm really starting to see the beauty in black women now. And that's really because, you know, start working up your caliber. It's like, okay, now you're seeing high caliber black women, beautiful black women. You're going to these private events and parties, and you're walking into these stores and establishments, and you're in these networks now where you're meeting black women who are like, they come from really good families, and they have a really good job, or they took really good care of everything. Like I was just in Miami, and like I saw probably like the most beautiful black woman I've ever seen in my life. Like literally, she was with like a few friends. I was just out taking some photos, but yeah, I met some in Vegas. I met some in Arizona. So yeah, it's gonna tie right now with Spanish and black women. White women, they're not as attractive as they used to be. So yeah, it's gonna tie right now with Spanish and black women. You know, and you know, it it can be up for debate because there's pros and cons to whichever, but it's gonna really come down to dating within. Okay, guys, and that's it's like a full circle I've made. I've been out, I've reached, I've seen, I've experienced, and it's like I'm coming back to the understanding, right? And I've like in Vegas, I probably it didn't work out with her. She was absolutely beautiful, but like it didn't really work out with her due to scheduling. Right? There was a lot of issues with our schedule. I had a hotel somewhere, and she came to pick me up, and there was an issue with like I was at one casino. I told her to pick me up from another, but I thought like Vegas is so big, but since it was my first time there, I thought everything was so close. So I messed up, and it didn't really work out. But she was, and I met her. Oh my goodness, like yeah, I met a couple this this past year. I met a a couple extremely beautiful black women, and very, very like beautiful inside and out, guys. But I'm almost 10 years into this. All right, I'm starting to understand how to go about things. Right, I feel like 90% of our results are going to come from, like I say, the vehicle. How are we going from point A to point B? Right, and then you start understanding networking, or communication, and then sourcing. Right, a lot of you guys, like I just got off a coaching call, and I told him about a couple websites to use for him to start using his profile and his photos. He had no clue. So a lot of you guys, it's like you only know if you know. You got to start valuing your friend circle, valuing your network. Because if you're not in these networks of quality, it's like literally next door can be a stunner, can be a woman that's perfect for you, or an event that's happening in your city you don't even know about because of your network. None of your friends are talking about it, or it's no reason for you to go to it. So that's a major difference I feel like I've been making these past few years, is understanding the quality of your network and your understanding of your city. I won't judge a man for dating how I do. Yeah, there's really, it's an experience for sure. You understand culture more. Yeah, and you can meet some very, like, we shouldn't have to judge each other from skin color, right, and race. But there's a reason. Like, I used to hate people who thought negative on it. Like, you should love anyone for who you are, no matter what. We shouldn't see the world in race and color. But I now understand why they don't like it, right? And like I said in the beginning, it's mainly because it breaks culture, right? That's one of the major reasons why it breaks culture. But another reason really is, it's like, it does, like, if you guys have ever even do any reading, like if you guys read the Bible, you guys read Word, okay, you start looking back into history. This is what really separated the world, is, bloodlines, okay, and there's some like there's some deep beliefs that, when it comes to mixed races, like there's some scripture that dates back. I can't remember the exact book, but it dates back on the Israelis, and some man, like like it was looked down on, like, okay, you can't mix with this, you can't mix with that, right? Take a look at it, like, dogs, for example, right? I don't know if you guys are into like dogs, and I don't really want to compare us to dogs, but we had some dogs at the house when I was younger, almost 15 years ago, because our uncle brought some dogs around, and we had our own dogs. But he was like, do not let them mix. Do not whatsoever. Do not let them get close to each other. She's in heat, right? He's not neutered, XYZ, right? And he would do his best he can to separate them. And one day, it just so happened they got stuck, and he was so mad. He was so mad, guys. It 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 just tremendously affected the breed. All right, the dogs came out a certain way, and you can't. It's like, we love the puppies, of course, but it's just like, that's when I started understanding. Oh, whoa, okay, the fact that this red nose or this blue nose it's worth 10 grand, $20,000, right? It's the fact that it the breed, the bloodline, right? The the way the dogs come out, it's just how it is. So, like I say, I'm going to talk from the beginning here and bring up the point I talked about at first. I understand the value of holding culture because there is beauty when it like the fact that a Swedish woman, right, is so beautiful as she is because she's Swedish. It's because the men and the women did not mix. All right, that's what makes her Swedish. That's what makes her as beautiful as she is because there wasn't any mixing. All right, and then when you look around, it's like, okay, we we love each other, right? It's a thing, right? But understand the reason why people don't like it, and that's because it breaks culture and it affects the dinner table when you sit down and holidays and language. All right, and then when you mix culture, it's like, okay, well, nothing really matters. Religion starts breaking. Well, you believe in this, your parents believe in that, and my parents believe in this. What is there left to believe in? All right, so traditions start breaking, things start falling apart. Right, so understand the value in that. And for all my brothers on the channel, there's an attack on our culture. Okay, there's an attack on our culture. So we have to defend it. Okay, we have to defend our borders. We have to, and this is going to bring in the next talking point, guys. And I'm going to put it here on the banner, but I'm going to put it here on the banner. And once again, guys, for everyone here that's into okay, for all the guys that are here on this live, guys, and I won't say too much. I won't say too much. All right, but I'm gonna have to offend some of you guys. All right, and some of you guys are gonna come after me, but this is part of getting good. You have to look at the facts. You have to know everything so you can navigate correctly. All right, so infiltration. So I've done a lot of traveling. I've probably traveled more than anyone here on this channel. All right, and I have 11,000 of you guys, but I've probably traveled more than any of you guys. All right, and I've been in rooms, been in conversations, and stuff is. Let me close that. This stuff is real. Yeah, this stuff is like. So if you're a guy who wants to date outside of your race and you seem to struggle with it, right? It's like, oh, I want a black woman and I'm white, or I'm an Indian guy and I want a white woman, or I'm a black guy, I want a white woman, I want a Spanish woman. All right, just understand that women, generally speaking, women, they do not like to date outside their race. All right, and that's just the cold hard truth. So for you to make your way into there, you have to like there's some signs. There are some signs. There's some telltale signs on which women are more open to it. I'm going to give you guys a couple tips. I won't give away all my game, but I'm going to let you guys know because the truth of the matter is you guys are going to have to make high probability moves. You have to see this like poker. You have to see this like everything's on the line. I mean, your reputation's on the line. You can't just go out to a venue or a nightclub and just mass approach. No, because the bouncers now and the bartender and the club owners are watching. And if you're a regular guy that comes there, chicks are gonna talk. That's the guy that approaches every girl. That's the guy to get with. I'm gonna let you guys. I'm gonna give you guys a couple of tips on how to go about it. So, number one is, you want to make high probability moves. So when you're making a high probability move, you should look for telltale signs, right? And I talk about Instagram, how to get good with Instagram. If you guys are interested in learning more about how to use Instagram, shoot me an email because Instagram is probably the best dating app right now. But you're looking on Instagram, you're seeing what's good. You're out at a venue, you're seeing what's good. You should have at least an indicator that she's open to interracially dating, like she's open to other guys, right? Like for example, there's this 10 that I see on Instagram, and I'm looking at her. I've been following her for a few weeks now, and I was getting ready to shoot my shot, right? Literally, she's a 10, and right, so it's like, is she even? Has she even ever dated a black guy? Has she even been in a room with a black guy, right? Okay, what's like before she like realistically, guys, before she would be open to dating you, she has to at least be she has to at least be comfortable. All right, comfort is the first level, right? Right. It's possible for a white woman to have never even the same room as a black guy before. It's very possible, but it's not. It's very very the other way around. Because as a black guy, you almost always seeing at least a white woman sometime in your life, right? Whether if it's your school teacher or someone at the bank, someone in the cashier of the store. Right? It's very rare for you to never have met a white woman before. But for a white woman to meet a black woman, sorry, a black man, it's very possible for her to have never even been in the same room or seen you in person. Okay? Because I've met him before. Easily, right? She could have been kept from that culture, right? Easily, right? So, yeah, you can be the first guy to come in, but your chances are very low, right? Unless you at a very high skill level, which you can get to pretty fast here at top level. But yeah, it's very possible for her to have never even been in a room as a black guy or an Indian guy or Spanish guy, right? Very, very possible, right? So, Instagram, in person, just look for some telltale signs. Quick, quick analyzing of the situation, the environment. Is she with any? Yeah, I I don't want to give away too much because I mean that'll be the purpose. But hey, this is how I got so good from guys having my best interest in just giving away game for free. Okay, guys, straight up. But you need to look for openings. I talk about infiltration, but you need to look for openings in the culture, right? That's the reality. You need to look for openings in the culture because if she's like, we're living in the most liberal times right now. We're living in the most liberal times. So if you're a guy in, say, New York, New York City, any kind of like San Francisco, any major city in the states, you should be good. Okay, you should be good. But once again, you start reaching these high ranks. Like I had a guy, he was in Croatia, and he said the women there was just like, nope, no black men, nope, 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 like not with it at all. But say you, for example, you go to London. Oh my goodness, like you got superpowers, guys. Okay, London happens to be extremely liberal, similar to New York. But yeah, there are advantages and there are disadvantages. So we talk about geographic location, but when you take a quick look at the situation, so for Instagram, for example, you see a woman who, like, if she's hot, right? She's a 10. Chances she has like 50,000 followers, 100,000, quarter million. Like I'm DMing chicks that got 1 million followers, guys. 500,000. I'm closing the deal, guys. I'm meeting these chicks in person, making it happen. Add me on Instagram. Let me look at Instagram. She got about 2 million followers. I'm like, oh, hey, in Miami you can get that. New York, you can meet chicks who are being invited out by superstars easily. So keep your cool though. Don't be like, oh my god, you have 1 million followers. Oh, like, keep your cool. Hey, this is regular. You do this every day. So I want to get to my point now, and essentially, so you got her Instagram. You see it. You look at her Instagram. You're just scouting, right? If she doesn't follow not a single black man or Indian guy, I mean, chances are she's not open to talking to or dating any of them. Okay. Yeah, you can make it work, but chances are, like I say, high probability moves, guys. You want to make high probability moves. Same thing in person. If you see her with, you know, say she's Indian, right? I love Indian women, right? They can be very beautiful, right? Asian women, right? If that's all who she's with, you understand lingo, you stick around, okay, cool. Chances are she may not be okay with it. Yeah, you can shoot your shot, but we want to make high probability moves. Now, if you see a black friend in there, right, or a white friend in there, whatever, there's some mixing of the culture, right? You have a better chance of shooting your shot because there's an opening. Okay, understand that. And that's the main subject of it. Yeah, you can make it work with women who have never dated outside the race, but you're gonna need some advantages. You're gonna need to be a big shot finance guy, lawyer guy, or say you're at the school or at a college campus, and you're a guy on the football team, on the basketball team, and you get all these pre-selection, these chicks on you, you have an advantage. You can work, but I mean, there's a reason why, like I talked about, women don't date outside their race. Women don't even really move outside their city. Okay, women are a lot more. They just stick to what they know more than guys. Guys, we run around here just trying to like do whatever we want, right? We're the ones who really like go by sea across the wilderness to just figure something out, discover things, try new things. Women really do all that. All right, mainly because they're judged a lot more than we guys are. So They're judged by their family, their close knit friends. Like I dated a white girl when I was younger, about 19, and she was out in a smaller town here, and there was a situation where like I got called the N word. Like we're walking the beach together at nighttime, and there was these guys. They rode past in this red truck. I still remember it like it was yesterday. I remember telling her like, "Hey, I don't want to be out here in this small town with you. It's late. Let's just hang out at my house, watch a movie or something." She's like, "No, let's walk the pier. It's beautiful out." And I'm like, "Hey, all right, cool, let's do it." And yeah, sure enough, I probably could have lost my life that. I'm not gonna lie. Those guys, they were enraged. I mean, the chick I was dating, she wasn't ugly, guys. And I was a little lucky, but yeah, I mean, those guys, they had to be upset. Having a little bit of connection issues, guys. So hopefully it becomes a little bit more stable. But yeah, probably could have lost my life that night. They had weapons on them, and yeah, thank God they rolled past. They didn't really do anything. Yeah, yeah, we're almost an hour in. Thanks for the guys who stuck around. But guys, this is gonna make the difference. You coming into the lives, there's no editing. It's just raw, straightforward advice and tips. Right, you're getting a coaching session. Right, this is literally it's what got me so good. And joining the lives have the most value, guys. But yeah, probably could have lost my life that night. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't get out of there safely. But yeah, those guys had weapons. Those guys were drinking. And when you think about it, some of these guys they don't have like they know like their dad is the mayor, their dad is the sheriff, right? So you have to be aware of some of these. Like you go to some of these countries. Like I was in Eastern Europe last year, and like they was cool. They was really cool. America is probably the racist, quote unquote, like country it can be. But anywhere else, you're fine. But yeah, those guys had weapons and everything. Something bad could have happened. Made it out. But yeah, guys, it's offensive. I don't like it, especially when you're with women that they desire to be with. Like that girl from your high school, they could never get, but they tried to get her. And you're an Indian guy, you're a white guy, or you a black guy, and you're getting them. They're gonna be like, "What the?" And they're gonna be mad. All right? Like, there's times I used to live in Philadelphia, and I'm dating this waitress. I mean, she was a waitress, but she was like an easy nine, guys, easy nine. And we looks, we would get looks. We would get looks because the places we would go to now, Like once you reach the top level, you start understanding the strategies on how to navigate your city and the dating scene. You're gonna be hitting up some really high end venues, right, where people have money, people are more cultured, right, and you're coming in there with somebody that looks like their niece or their granddaughter, and they're like, "What's this?" Right? You're gonna get some looks, but it's good. You should be getting looks because that means you're dating some hot women. Like if you're not getting looks, I mean, she's probably not that hot. Got a question. Did you ever experience racism trouble with dating white women when you were in Poland? I'm black, but always one concerned about being here. So Poland was probably the best time of my life. In fact, Eastern Europe is like I said is it's a lot more. You get a lot of respect, especially if you're American. I don't know, TJ, if you're American, but anywhere outside of America, you're gonna get respect. You're gonna get like 10 times respect because we're the best country in the world, and they'll just know if you're American. Like they will know. Like there's some big black guys in Poland. They're like they're like African or whatever. They come from like well, they navigate a little somewhere around there, but they can kind of tell. Okay, but they don't know if you're American. And yes, just it's respect. It's respect. Like they don't fuck with Americans. Excuse my language, but you gotta get some respect, and you're gonna attract some really attractive women, like really attractive. So it's really in the U.S. Like you start hitting up these smaller countryside towns, and yeah, you can experience some deadly racism, like deadly. Like you go down a long road, brother, or you go to a chick's house, you trying to close, or I'm gonna sleep with this. You and her dad comes to check on her or whoever else, and you may not make it out, brother. So it's really in America, really, in my opinion. You go in the UK, you're gonna be a 10, hands down. American black men are the most sought after in the UK. So TJ, if you're American, yeah, you go to Eastern Europe, you're gonna be fine. Now, there are some countries I haven't been to yet, like Germany, for example. It's pretty liberal there. I hear you get a lot of respect there. But yeah, for the most part, I feel as though if you're a stand-up guy, you stand up tall, you look every guy in his eyes, no one's gonna bother you. No one's gonna mess with you. They may feel some type of way, but they're not gonna try anything. You just look like you can handle them, But I will tell you, in Eastern Europe, the masculinity it's like you haven't seen masculinity yet, bro. It's like you get in an Uber a certain way, and you don't say hi or something, and like you say hi first before I pull off, or you walk in the nightclub, it's like they may look at you a certain way. I'm not gonna tell you like all the women mess with us, but it's you may get cut in line here and there. Like it was a situation. I was in Poland. I was at this nightclub. I think it was called Level 27. It's like the 27th floor up. There's a nightclub. It's beautiful up there. But I went way up there in the elevator, and it's this huge line. I went out by myself. I was going out by myself all the time, and I would meet guys out, but I would go out by myself because I didn't know any friends. So it was like it was like a group of like three girls and like two guys, and I'm waiting in line like 15 minutes. Then they just cut me. They literally just cut me, like, and didn't care. Like they just cut me, and I'm just like, excuse me? Like, but they don't know English. Maybe 10 or 15% of the people speak English in Poland. So they didn't understand me verbally. But I'm just like, nah, like you cut me. Like in America, we don't play that. Like you cut us, we're gonna have a problem. But there's a little slight difference in the culture. People are a little bit more rude in these other countries, but it's more normal, right? It's a little bit more. They can get away with a little bit more. But yeah, they cut me, and I was like, nah, like I don't care. There's just like two, three guys with them, like two pretty girls. I don't care. You cut me, get back, and I went right around them. The guy looked at me. The person who was giving out tickets looked at me, and I'm like, I don't care. You may not understand me, but you don't cut me, right? You're a stand-up brother, you know. Where do you want to take this, you know? And it doesn't have to go that far, but you have to be willing to take it there, and that goes anywhere around the world. No one's gonna bother you if they feel like you're not the one to play with. But they'll try you for sure. Like even like here in the States, like for example, it may be some times where you just don't get the respect that you deserve because of your race or your skin color. Literally, for whatever reason. But you have to say, nope, I'm not allowing that. I don't care what you think in your head, but it's not going down over here, you know? Like, for the most part, and that's why I say the best thing you can do, brother, is improve your language. Because language is everything, literally. So, if you know how to talk, this is something I learned from my ex. You learn how to talk, and the best way you can learn how to talk is reading out loud. Like, get you a Bible, get you get you a textbook or any kind of novel, like from a good author, and you just read out loud every day. And that's going to improve your language. But you have to know how to talk because when you start having these disputes, don't we're not going to get physical. We're not going to talk loud. We're not going to give them what they expect of us. We're going to beat them at their own game, and that's verbal. We're going to, like my chick, my ex, a she was a state contender in debate. Like I think she won New York State, and she went to the finals in the country. But she was a very good debater. Like she knew how to talk. She would probably win all her arguments. Just how she would lay out the facts, how she would talk very fast, her body language, right? She got up, like she would like whenever we were out eating or like a officer pull us over, because they would pull us over all the time. I would just have her talk like, "Hey, you got it," and she would just handle it. So you gotta know how to talk, and you gotta know how to win debates and arguments because trust me, as a culture, it's in us. All right, we may be ready to get physical or loud. We're not gonna give them that. We're gonna win verbally. We're gonna win by laying out the facts, right, and keeping our composure. And that's when they're gonna be like, "Whoa, okay, I didn't expect this," blah, 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 right? But this is where it comes in, where we gotta go out there and earn our titles, right? I know some guys, who worked with me. They became engineers, lawyers, very well respected black men. Okay, they went out there and got their titles. That's gonna help you. And then you start once again. You start getting into these networks. I'm giving away game right now, but you start getting these networks. And this is half of the equation because now you're sitting in in meetings and you're working at these places or hitting up these spots where it's like you're easily running into Italian women. Like I'm talking real Italian, not none of this Americanized stuff. Real Italian, and she's looking at you like, with all due respect, because if you're here, you're somebody. If you're staying at this hotel, you're somebody. If you know about this venue, if you know about this person, if you know this person, you're somebody. So go out there and once again, learn the right way to handle things. Don't give anyone a reason to think negatively of the stereotypes, right? So there's some there's some pieces of clothing I completely threw out of my wardrobe. Like I don't wear this, I don't wear that, and I'm gonna give you one more tip. You guys, one more tip before I head out, because we're gonna get going here. But for all the guys who are looking to attract any woman outside of your race, right? I have some Indian guys that come on here, black guys, white guys, right? And you want to attract the opposite or different race, very attractive women, right? Like I talked about, women, they don't typically date outside of their race, right? But if you want to do it, the absolute best way to do it, the absolute best way. Oh, thanks, TJ. I'm trying, right? I'm trying because this is how I learn. This is how I learn. Some guys coming out here and just telling you guys how it is, right? This is what you need to hear. There may be some things that hurt your ears or may lower your confidence, but or it may not be politically whatever correct, but it's going to help you make the right decisions. So the best way for you to get a particular woman outside of your race, because you're going to be at a disadvantage, but the best way to do that is to I don't want to call them pivots because they're not pivot. Like a pivot is a female, right? They can help for sure, but you're gonna need someone who's like, say you're trying to get like this is deep, like high level skill that I probably don't want to have public because it's just like, whoa. I was gonna say it right. So truth of the matter is, she's going to be a lot more comfortable talking to you. Like, say she's a woman who's never dated outside her race or never been around or even thought of you highly, right? Because essentially, women, they want to date up. They don't want to date a guy below, that's seen lower than them. So if you can have, for example, a say if you're a black guy or you're Indian and you want to attract white, best way to do that is to go out with a white guy. Okay, it's going to make it tremendously easier to approach and to talk to white women, guys. I mean, tremendously easier, guys. And this is something no one talks about because no one knows what they're doing. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. When she sees you, like, I mean, it's almost like she's going to be okay with talking to him, and then he's going to introduce you or in other areas, like he's okay, he got his approval, vice versa, right? It's some psychology stuff I can talk about, but it's gonna make it 10 times easier, guys. 10 times easier. If you're a guy who wants consistently to go out and approach, and you're not doing a good job, find you a good friend who happens to be the same race or these kind of women you want to attract, and they're gonna open the door for you. Literally, gonna open the door for you. He's gonna teach you about the culture directly and indirectly. And when it comes to approaching, you guys can go in together, and she's gonna be a lot more comfortable talking to him and then talking to you. This is how it's always done. But that's enough here, guys. Thanks for all the guys who tuned in. We're here on an hour, but take all this into account. I'm not sure how long I may have this up after, but replay this for all the guys that came in late, because this is straight facts. This is game. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and check out the links in the description. We're redesigning the website to help with a lot of things. But yeah, be sure to check out the text manual. It's the best in the market. It helps you get, like, I don't even date forward anymore. I literally don't. I was just talking to my friend the other day, and I'm like, bro, I'm gonna marry some chick, one of my exes, bro. Like, one of the chicks I dated before. Because I just have so many. Once you know exactly what to text and exactly how to go about your dating life at a high caliber, it's like, bro, there's no reason for you to keep moving forward. There's plenty of women you've met before, and there's a high amount of volume you can run, like extremely high amount of volume. All right, so we're gonna wrap up this video. Check out the text manual and the links in the description for better support. My name is KT from Top Level Dating. Peace.